Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off this journey with you today. Our presentation is titled The Honest Marriage Preparation Guide, and it's designed to help you think differently about marriage. Over the next few slides, we'll explore what it truly takes to build a thriving marriage, not just a beautiful wedding. We'll discuss why so many focus on planning the big day, but often overlook preparing for the lifelong journey ahead. And if you're already married, I invite you to share your insights in the comments. Let's learn from each other's experiences. So, let's get started and discover how to prepare for a marriage that lasts a lifetime. Prepare yourself for this reality. Family gatherings can really test your patience. You might encounter different values around money, parenting, or holiday traditions. And sometimes, there's drama that has nothing to do with you but still impacts your home life. The key challenge here is boundary management. It's essential that your spouse creates healthy boundaries between their family of origin and the new family you're building together. When those boundaries blur, tension is almost inevitable. Research shows that family relationships play a significant role in marital satisfaction. In fact, studies reveal that about 60% of married women report stressful relationships with their mother-in-law, often because mothers tend to be protective of their sons. And no, this isn't just a stereotype, it's a psychological reality. Remember, you're not just marrying a partner, you're joining an entire ecosystem: parents, siblings, traditions, cultural expectations, and long-standing family dynamics. So, reality number one to keep in mind is, you're not just marrying the person, you're marrying their entire family system. As we look at the timeline of life and relationships, it's clear that change is a constant. When you're 25, your partner might be adventurous and ambitious, eager to explore the world and chase new goals. By 35, they could be career-focused and still evolving, reevaluating what truly matters to them. At 45, they might become more reflective, reassessing their life and priorities, and by 65, they often embrace wisdom and acceptance, having navigated many transitions. What this highlights is that the person you marry at one stage will be different at every other stage. Careers change, interests shift, bodies age, and sometimes trauma surfaces. This ongoing evolution means that your partner will continually be becoming someone new. Research consistently shows that flexibility and communication are the most powerful predictors of long-term marital success through these inevitable changes. Marriage isn't about finding a perfect, unchanging partner. It's about choosing to grow together through these changes. Remember, marriage means repeatedly choosing new versions of your partner, some you adore, others that challenge your patience. The key is in how you adapt and stay connected despite these shifts. The person you marry at 25 won't be the same at 35, 45, or 65. Embracing this reality is essential for a resilient, lasting relationship. Let's talk about some of the tougher realities that life throws at relationships. When we face grief and shared mourning, it's not just about feeling sad, it's about how we come together to support each other through loss. Loss itself can shake the foundation of trust, often requiring couples to rebuild that trust from the ground up. Betrayal is another deep wound that tests the strength of your bond. It can cause physical and emotional strain, leaving both partners feeling drained and vulnerable. Illness, whether personal or a loved one's, adds another layer of challenge, often forcing us to confront our own mortality and resilience. Financial uncertainty and identity crises can hit hard, making us question who we are outside of our careers or material possessions. Job loss, in particular, can be devastating, not just financially, but emotionally and psychologically. Now, I want you to prepare your mind for this. There will be times when love feels more like a commitment than a spark of chemistry. There will be moments where one partner carries the other through dark times, and sometimes the goal isn't perfection, it's simply survival. Crisis reveals what love and romance often hide: the true strength of your partnership. The couples that come through aren't necessarily more in love than before, they're more resilient. Remember, life doesn't pause for your love story. Marriage isn't truly tested during the good times, it's tested during the disasters, when everything around you seems to be falling apart. We're talking about job loss, infertility, illness, death, financial crises, betrayal. Those are the moments that challenge the very fabric of your relationship. So the reality is clear. Life will test your partnership in ways that romance never prepared you for, and understanding that is key to building a resilient, lasting bond. Prepare yourself for this important point. Pregnancy and the postpartum period bring about significant changes in your relationship. You might notice different touch preferences emerging, shifts in sexual desire, and new communication needs. What worked before pregnancy might not work after, so adaptation becomes essential. It's crucial to understand that these changes aren't anyone's fault. They're rooted in biology. But pretending these shifts won't affect your marriage, that's denial. Hormonal fluctuations during and after pregnancy can mimic endocrine disorders, and they can dramatically influence your mood, sexuality, and emotional regulation. Research shows that most couples experience a decline in relationship satisfaction during the first year postpartum. Remember, pregnancy and postpartum aren't just physical journeys, they're neurological revolutions. This means your brain is also changing, affecting how you connect, communicate, and relate to each other. So the key takeaway here is that pregnancy will fundamentally change your relationship. Embracing these changes, understanding their biological roots, and being willing to adapt are crucial steps toward maintaining a strong partnership through this transformative time. As we move to slide 6, I want to highlight a crucial reality. Children will test your marriage more than anything else. When you have kids, individual needs often become secondary to the demands of parenting. It's easy to lose your sense of couple identity as life revolves around diapers, schedules, and endless responsibilities. Financial strain is another major challenge. Childcare costs and lost income can create tension that's hard to ignore. This financial pressure can add stress to an already exhausting situation. Speaking of exhaustion, sleep deprivation significantly affects patience, communication, and intimacy. When you're running on empty, it's tough to connect and support each other like you used to. Now, it's important to prepare your mind for these realities. There will be years where your relationship takes a back seat. You might face conflicts about parenting styles, feel overwhelmed by exhaustion, or resent the unequal distribution of responsibilities. Research shows that relationship satisfaction often drops more suddenly after having children than in couples without kids. Children don't fix broken marriages. In fact, they tend to expose underlying issues. So remember, children will test your marriage more than anything else, bringing out both the best and the most challenging parts of your partnership. Let's talk about the shadow side of love, the parts that aren't always easy to see or accept. Sometimes, your partner might act defensively, shutting down emotionally or acting selfishly. They might react with anger when overwhelmed or stressed. These behaviors are natural parts of being human, and they're part of the shadow side we all carry. Now, on the flip side, there are moments of generosity, patience, thoughtful surprises, and romantic gestures that shine brightly. These are the highlight reel, the beautiful moments we cherish. But real love isn't about avoiding the difficult moments. It's about staying present through them. You should prepare your mind for this. Your partner might snap at you under pressure or say cruel things when they're exhausted. They might withdraw when they're depleted, just as you might. The key psychological principle here is accepting the shadow side, that loving the human, not just the highlight reel. In marriage, you'll see each other at your absolute worst and your best. It's a front row seat to the full spectrum of human emotion, the beautiful and the brutal. And that's okay, because this is where true connection happens. Let's talk about how childhood experiences shape our financial behavior. Many of us carry money trauma from the past, and that influences how we handle investments and financial decisions today. It's common to have different comfort levels when it comes to investing. Some are more risk-averse, while others are more willing to take chances. These differences often lead to conflicting priorities about financial security. What feels safe to one person may feel risky to the other. Then there's the way we approach saving. Some of us have a specific saving philosophy, whether it's saving aggressively or being more relaxed about it. Similarly, our spending habits. How we approach discretionary purchases vary widely based on our backgrounds and personalities. Money touches every part of married life, and ignoring these differences rarely works in the long run. It's important to prepare for this reality. Couples often argue about purchases, experience anxiety about income, and have different risk tolerances and financial priorities. These differences in spending habits, saving philosophies, and childhood money trauma can cause clashes. That's why financial transparency and open communication are so crucial. They can make the difference between shared goals and silent resentment. Remember, whether you have very little or plenty, money stress is something that affects everyone. The key takeaway here is that money will always be a source of tension, but understanding these underlying factors can help us navigate it more effectively as a team. Let's talk about the different seasons your sex life will go through. First, there's the honeymoon phase, where desire is high and intimacy is frequent. It's that exciting, passionate time at the beginning of a relationship. But long-term passion isn't automatic. It requires effort and intentionality. As time goes on, you'll notice a shift. The next phase is routine, where predictable patterns emerge and spontaneity might decrease. It's normal. Life gets busy, routines settle in. Then you might enter the challenge phase, where mismatched desires and life demands come into play. Sex might require scheduling, and attraction may need conscious effort. And at times, you'll be in the intentional phase, consciously cultivating connection, where desire might be lower but intimacy deepens through effort. The key takeaway here is that desire naturally fluctuates, bodies change, hormones shift, and life intervenes. This isn't a sign of failure, it's human physiology. Recognizing these phases helps us understand that maintaining a long-term passion takes intentional cultivation across these seasons. Let's talk about the importance of recommitting to your partnership intentionally. Sometimes, during tough times, you might feel like you're questioning your choice, and that's completely normal. These moments are often temporary. They don't reflect the true state of your relationship. It's easy to romanticize other options or think about escape when routine sets in. But remember, these are illusions, fleeting thoughts that come and go. The key is to recognize that loving someone doesn't mean never doubting. It's about consciously choosing to recommit, even when the spark dims or you notice your partner's quirks more sharply. Every couple faces days when attraction wanes or frustrations surface. These moments are part of being human. What matters most is your mindset. When these thoughts arise, see them as temporary illusions, not the truth. They don't mean you married the wrong person. They're just part of the natural ebb and flow of a long-term relationship. So prepare yourself mentally for these times. Know that questioning your choice is normal. The difference is whether you choose to reaffirm your commitment and focus on the love you share. That's how lasting bonds grow stronger.